All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the broadcast. We are finally getting things started here on the Beyond the Summit stream. Excited to be here on what is the kickoff here of the European Region Open Qualifiers, of course, for the Kiev Major coming up later on here. So really looking forward to a great event here, the Open Qualifiers getting it kicked off into the regional qualifiers later on in the week here, where no doubt that's where it's going to be extra exciting, extra spicy even. But we got a open round matchup here early on in our first of two open qualifiers over these next 4 days here, I believe it is. And again, we're looking forward to it. So having some fun with you guys. By the way, I am Breaky CPK, going to be your headcaster for today for the European region, and I'm joined by my co-caster, the one, the only Tsunami here. Tsunami, how's it going, man?
Oh, I'm happy to join you. I'm happy to finally be in a game. And
Yeah.
supposedly a relatively high-profile game, based off of what Twitch has told me. I am assuming this is the real Cancel, and one of these players on his team is supposedly the real Sing Sing.
That is interesting. Yeah, and we had another match kind of lined up, but that's the thing with these open qualifiers, right? Especially in the earlier rounds. Now, the European region, it had like over 800 teams officially signed up. So they're basically starting with a round of 1,024, I believe. So I don't know if this is even in a round of 1,024, the round of 512. I don't even know. Anyways, that's what it's going to kind of be like over these next couple of hours here early on in these rounds. By the way, to kick things off, Sand King in some trouble. Kvyppy here on the Sand King. It looks like he's going to be first blooded, though. Weaver with the final auto attack will connect. So, hey, this is Cancel and Sing Sing and crew. They're off to a good start here in these open qualifiers.
Yeah, it's gonna take some detective work for me to figure out who is who. I mean, I can't Cancel always plays Lone Druid, so I really have no reason to assume that this is a fake Cancel. It's now a really well-organized gank on the Invoker mid.
Yeah, no chance for Ding Ding Dong? Something like that. Anyway, so
we're gonna go with Digidon.
Sure. I like Ding Dong better, but yeah, you are right. It is Digidon right there. I know, but that's the thing again. With these earlier on matches, frankly, it's going to be a complete crapshoot. I mean, ideally, we're going to maybe follow players that we perhaps recognize, as you're pointing out. Cancel over here, of course, formerly of Complexity, but now playing in the region that he comes from. I believe he's from Romania, if I'm not mistaken, and playing with the likes of this team right here again. We believe it is, as you said, he's playing here in that middle lane on the Lone Druid, which is something he did actually play here and there with when he was on Complexity. So it's good to see him. It's good to see him playing here, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he does. But this potentially could set up to be a stomp also, if that is the case. So that's kind of the intriguing thing for me as we're watching here. But
yeah, there's no real matchmaking, so I don't know if teams are used to Shadow Demon rotations this heavily in the game this early on.
Luna falling right there. I did not catch that one. Okay, well, let's go ahead and go over the lineups officially, though. Obviously, we're kind of jumping into this one. Again, guys, bear with us. We're going to be hopping around quite a bit today. In fact, if you are watching here in chat, then feel free to let us know if there's any matches that maybe stand out to you, and we'll kind of go with the flow here. We really don't have any designated plans as far as these rounds go. It's going to be all over the place. So jumping around here and there, and definitely looking forward to having some fun with it. But on this Radiant side, we have Invoker, Abaddon, Lion, Sand King, and Luna. Luna, by the way, in the aggressive lane up here as we see, and of course, you talk about the roaming Shadow Demon setting up a gank onto him there. How about this lineup overall, though? Do you think it kind of makes sense and with how they laned it, or?
I've always been a fan of aggressive tri-lanes. The thing is that it's very hit or miss, and hopefully I imagine that in these open qualifiers, teams are like, okay, well, these are 5 players that we have, we've practiced with each other, we know each other's style, we've probably party queued up a fair amount. So assuming that they can execute it, I think aggressive tri-lanes are very good, as in the mid lane, a hasted Slardar helps out on an Invoker kill.
Yeah, not much Invoker could do right there, as you mentioned, with that haste Druid, just chases him down, the crush comes out, and a couple of auto attacks from Lone Druid pretty much does the job. Top lane, speaking of that, once again, we have some trouble up here, as they're gonna catch Lion. In comes that Berserker's call from the background. Pookie here, throwing out that crush. Lion living a little bit longer than expected, perhaps, but one more auto attack will do the job. Now, SSM, what were you thinking? Luna, I don't know what the plan was there. If it was to die, though, mission accomplished, SSM, so... Yeah, I think as almost expected, we're kind of seeing a little bit of a flow here from the team that we expected from on the Dire side.
Yeah, but I'm still heavily amused. I mean, I don't want to make any claims yet on the skill of the Radiant team yet, but whenever I have seen open qualifiers in the past, it's really like every single game is so volatile because you have no idea what the skills levels of any of these teams are if they don't have any well-known players. So sometimes
Yeah.
it's just like, you know, some 2K players want to make a team, and they should. I highly encourage, no matter how bad you are at the game, you should make an open qualifier team if you have 5 people, because
Yeah.
it's fun. You get to get bodied by a professional team, and that's a memorable experience.
And maybe
Says now Luna.
Yeah, Luna again in trouble, and maybe even Cassidy and embarrassed on Beyond the Summit, as we see right here. I mean,
Exactly.
you get this opportunity. No, but I 100% agree with you, and it was actually really cool to see that. I mean, again, over 800 teams for this region alone. That means we have thousands of teams between all the regions, no doubt, participating in these open qualifiers. And I mean, that's just great to see because, like you said, it could be a lot of fun
Mid lane.
for them to play as middle lane. This could be the first kill for the Radiant side of trying to miss. The meatball comes out, but that's not going to happen as Lion's the one dropping, but he will barely survive.
Nope. Orb of
Never
Venom
mind.
tick.
Orb of Venom tick from the Lone Druid, and there we go with a kill on Invoker. Just when you thought there was a glimpse of hope there for the Radiant. Not so much. So the disaster continues for our Radiant team over here, which again, the team with no name, as we'll call them, I guess. Not even exactly sure what they're signed up as.
Actually, that's true. What is their name?
I don't know.
I need to give them the credit. Okay, so it's Team Kvyppy. It's his stack, I suppose.
Team Kvapping?
Yeah, the Sand King
Okay,
stack.
got you. Guys, I'm gonna go ahead and have to mute real quickly. Apparently, we are having some audio issues, so enjoy the domination from a mute right here. I'll be right back as far as on the stream here.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
All right. Anyways, guys, we are back here now. Okay, there we go. We made a couple of tweaks, so hopefully a little bit better now as far as doing the stereo setup here. But again, not missing too much other than just more domination. The Colding Blade comes out, double kill for Axe as he takes out Invoker right there. 15-1 lead, but hey, you know, they got a kill. Luna was able to get a kill actually.
Oh, and she's milking that kill.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a
Easy.
mental game.
Love it.
Also, I do have some new data. It turns out that the Weaver Naruto Uchiha is in fact the Sing Sing player.
Okay.
So at least 2 confirmed. As Sing Sing actually taking a lot of damage here in the bot lane, but he has time lapse.
Yeah, time lapse, a great ability for making all that damage, basically nothing. So he is gonna be fine. We'll be good to go. Boogie is also a name that I recognize, honestly. Playing the slaughter right here. I don't know exactly where from, but I want to say I've seen this name before, as well in competitive matches. So I think he just might be himself, as far as his name goes. Of course, cancel the same story right there.
Okay, I believe that.
But the others, yeah, I can't say for certain as far as who they are. But clearly a pretty stacked team here. I'm not saying this is a team that's going to dominate through the open qualifiers brand by any means, but obviously they're running into a mismatch here, as sometimes it does happen. But we'll keep going with this one for the time being here, and then eventually look to move things on as far as jumping into another match. But, I mean, with their lineup, by the way, the lone druid in middle lane, you have Weaver. I guess he was more of the short lane Weaver here. Slaughter and Shadow Demon just been roaming around with the axe. I mean, overall, this is just a very aggressive makeup, kind of a 4-1 strategy, it feels like. With
bot lane, Shadow Demon goes down.
Okay. There's something.
Alright, so two numbers on the board.
There you go.
Every little bit counts.
It does. It's that pride at this point that it feels like they're almost playing for. Uh-oh, top lane though, Slaughter. He's got that corrosive haze ready to go.
And Axe is a Blink Dagger completed.
Oh no. It's the dead Luna. Well, Abaddon gonna assist at least a little bit with the Aphotic Shield, but he even gets hit by the Crush as well, getting close enough. And down goes Luna anyway, so not much more Abaddon. Abaddon being ran as a true support here, by the way. What do you think about that? He's running a 4 support. I feel like when we've seen Abaddons, they usually are ran in the off lane, if anything, as a 3 position, but...
Yeah, that's the more common setup, but Abaddon has a lot of versatility in a tri-lane situation, which originally this did start out as a tri-lane. The thing is that SingStack basically dodged the threat of the aggressive tri-lane by just sending the Axe solo up there, and once you see an Axe solo, there's not much that a tri-lane can do against that, even though it's, you know, a pretty strong one, as now and Axe is kind of diving. He has his Blink Dagger up in 1 second though, so he's gonna get out.
Yeah, he'll be fine. He has that Fairy Fire also just in case as well. He's going to go even further down, and that's the right decision, as obviously they're still trying to hunt him. In fact, even
and he walks into the scan on the south side, but his Blink Dagger is up again in 1 second.
Yeah, did they even see him? Because they're not even actually reacting as if they did see him. And now Lion's actually going to get caught. Only level 3 still. One more auto attack, but no, the Hex comes out on the Slaughter. And now here's the response. It's safe to say this dire side getting a little comfortable as far as where they're at in this game. Boogie diving by himself, and Invoker's going to finish him off. And boom goes the Dynamite. The Bear, meanwhile, is going to be like sayonara. Poured on out of here in front of their face. And he will be fine, so Spear Bear getting out.
Slardar is sacrificing his life for this Axe player's sins, but it's a pretty low rent Slardar. This is just like a roaming Slardar pretty much, who still has managed to scrape together 1,500 gold, almost 700 gold away from Blink Dagger, and you saw that the supports of Radiant Team are so underleveled. The Corrosive Haze into Crush basically took half of Lion's life out with just 1 spell, as now Luna on the bot lane gets saved by Sand King.
Yep, Slaughter. There we go with the stun, though, and now here goes Weaver following it up. Axe, meanwhile, getting a kill and Abaddon to the top lane. I'm sure that Culling Blade used to assist right there. The put under for Luna is pops the Eclipse, but it just doesn't matter. Double kill for Boogie. A 4-for-1 exchange, as actually Shadow Demon did end up falling, but the 420 is here, baby. Yeah, we're all 12 years old here, but Tower's going to fall, meanwhile, on the secondary tower. Haha. And that'll be an easy push now coming out for the dire side.
Lincoln's completed by the Weaver, so even if Lion does manage to, I don't even know what Lion could get at this stage, but once he does, he's already been effectively countered, because Sand King doesn't really have much initiation right now. He only has 240 gold. Lion is a hard 5-position support, and well, aside from those 2 heroes, there's not much you can do to jump on targets. Yeah. They might get the Spear Bear at least.
No, nope. They can't. The raid boss, it's going to stay alive in the background. Actually, the response coming out by Axe, as well as Slaughter. The meatball going to be coming out from Invoker right there, but his head's going to be chopped off meanwhile, as Sand King also will fall. Meanwhile, poured out actually from Abaddon will stay alive, but the 3 for nothing is real. As Lion, hey, there's one good thing about being level 4 at this point. He resurrects pretty damn quickly, actually.
Yeah, it's a hidden level 4 talent, actually.
Yeah. Hey, at level 10, he gets the minus 25-second respawn time, so
true.
Not too bad either. That's if you want to pass up the 45 damage that you get from those right clicks. But as a support, I think it's always for me personally, I think you always go the respawn time, right? Like as a support, you expect to die almost, so.
Yeah, especially if it's an early level talent. Sometimes like level 25 talent or 20 talents sometimes are respawn, and that's maybe not as critical, but oh, Sand King.
Bappy's like, we're not going to be finished off right here. He stuns in. The Hex actually in the background on the Axe as he jumps in as well. This could be a double kill coming out, as the Slaughter will be picked up, but Axe some way somehow still alive. The Fairy Fire going to be popped. The Culling Blade not going to work though, and he too will go down. Now they got the melee racks to be fair, but they do lose 2 in the process. So again, it's the minor victories here for this Radiant side that definitely have to be adding up, and they got to feel good about that, I'm sure, getting a couple of kills right here. But they lose the Rack, so the Dire still well ahead at this point.
Yeah, Cancel and Sing Sing were all objective-minded, while the Slardar and Axe were serving as bait, making sure that everyone else can play objective-minded Dota. One Rack's down at 13 minutes in. Yeah, it's a tough look, but you know, like you said, at least they got a few kills. It's not a straight-on shutout.
Yeah. I want to talk about Lion for a second a little bit more. Lion's kind of an interesting hero for me because coming from the game I come from, over in Han, the equivalent hero over there, at times, it was honestly pretty rare, but at times the idea of a solo mid even Lion could be possible. Is that something that we've really ever seen in Dota, or has he always been kind of a support hero in the end?
I think back when the mid pool was not as robust, I'd say in 2012, it was definitely a thing. I definitely think that good players would do, because a high-level Lion could just run truck on the entire game. But then a bunch of other mids came out who effectively do the same thing, and Lion has pretty much been exclusively relegated to support for probably the past 3 or 4 years, but it's still viable. You can still definitely do a solo mid Lion. Like if you're smurfing or something and you want to throw the enemies for a loop, it's definitely viable, but in professional Dota you will never see it.
I'll tell you what, if you have a Naga sign on the other side, you want to run a solo Lion. You get that level 25 Talent Man plus 3 mana drain multi-target, that's insta-kill and all those illusions, man.
That's true. And another good thing against Chaos Knight as well is now another initiation top lane.
That's a good point, actually, too. But anyways, yeah, the jump onto the line. Speaking of, and they're finally going to kill him. But it comes at a cost right there to the life of Slaughter, and Axe is also getting low. Again, the Dire's clearly overconfident, though, as they frankly should be. Shadow Demon going to be picked off. Axe is just limping away, however. He's going to be fine. Going back in with the Vanguard. Is going to put up the Colding Blade. However, it doesn't get the kill. It at least set up the kill for the Sand King. But going to be on cooldown now in the background. He will be finished off, actually, as the dot from Sand King enough to tick him down. But there's the complete cleanup. And now here comes the top tower push in favor of the Dire side. And classic Axe, he's going to fly back and pour right back in with those boots of travel of his. So another Rack's going to be destroyed right here. And seems like that clock is winding down now for the Radiant side there. 15 minutes of fame is going a little over 15 minutes here.
I'm glad they didn't GG out though, because also another trend I see in open qualifiers is like after the first 5 minutes, someone's like, yeah, this game's clearly lost and is GG out. But you gotta milk it, you know? This opportunity does not come all the time, as now Luna.
They're having fun with it. You know, we saw the talk in the chat earlier, as you're really kind of stressing here. Hey, even if you run into a team like this, a makeup of clearly very good players across the board, you get a chance to play against them, and a possibility again to be live covered here on a channel like Beyond the Summit, even in a devastating loss. I think that's something you can tell your friends about. It's like, yeah, I played on Beyond the Summit once. I played against some of these pro players. Played against the one.
Check the Dota buff, son. It happened.
It's official, man. It's official. Yeah, we got stomped. Don't mind me, but it actually kind of reminds me back when Quake was more of a thing. There was this random Quake tournament that happened at a local mall, shopping center near me, and I was like, this was maybe like 10 years ago now, 10 even more than that. And I signed up for it because it was like a free kind of small tournament, just figuring, okay, yeah, I'll have fun. I didn't really play Quake at the time, but why not, right? So I signed up for it, and my opponent in the first round, he beats me. I think the final score was 102-1, if I'm not mistaken. I got one kill though. And it actually, I found out later on that this guy was apparently like a top 10 Quake player in the world. He just happened to be there playing at this local like $300 tournament because he was nearby. So, but hey, you know, I felt good. I tell that story all the time. You know, every girl that I meet, I talk. That's the first thing I bring up. That, you know, I got a kill on a top Quake pro.
And that impresses them all.
That's how you win them over.
This defense, somewhat also admirable, somewhat also impressive, almost get the kill.
Oh god, the Hex on him, he's dusted up, he's gonna stand his ground though, Sing Sing. Doing Sing Sing things. He does have the Aegis though, of course gonna bring him right back up, and the team follow-up gonna be successful. Going back in on Abaddon here now. And just a matter of time completing it up as Evoker will lie back. Yeah, obviously as you guys probably noticed right here as well, again, don't expect some over-the-top professional casting necessarily when it comes to though. We're gonna have fun with it. We're gonna have fun with you guys when it comes to these open qualifiers. So it'll be kind of a good mix, I think it's safe to say. But in a game like this, it's hard to be a little serious, you know.
No. No, when Twitch emotes are being all chatted, I think it is a little hard to be serious.
Yeah.
Radiant's
Just
structures
fine.
are fortified.
But I think this game is actually coming to a conclusion. So Twitch chat, it's on a 5-minute delay, unfortunately. But if you guys
True.
want to give your suggestions on which match we perhaps should be jumping into next, feel free to do so. We'll look ourselves, and again, we're just going to try to keep the pace going for the most part. We don't want to have a lot of downtime here. There's obviously plenty of games to choose from, so we'll probably just go on a very short break right here and then quickly find a game and then jump right back into it. But if you guys do have suggestions on teams that would be fun to follow or teams to look out for in their planning match, then feel free to point it out in Twitch chat, and we'll do our best to keep an eye on that. And perhaps jump in. That's why we found this match. That's what you're talking about. Somebody had brought this one up. Sure enough, we got to watch the Domination. That was.
Gotta watch the Great Escape. Sing Sing finally gonna die. All right. There you go. Megas are irrelevant.
No. Add that to the resume. There we go.
Exactly.
Killed Sing Sing in a professional tournament match in Dota 2. Whatever happened to Sing Sing, by the way? Didn't he used to be like a top pro?
He did, and he actually claimed to have retired from professional Dota as Sand King dodges something. No. Sorry, I keep trying to take it seriously. Yeah. So Sing Sing actually had a very heartfelt interview with I think it was after some tournament, and the team that he was participating on didn't do as well, and he announced his retirement from professional Dota. But as we all know, retirements in professional Dota are more of formalities than actual, like, true, genuine retirements.
Yeah, laughable at the very least. Yeah, no,
Exactly.
It's like it's one of those like, you know, I don't feel like playing much right now in this moment. Oh, a couple weeks later, you know what? I feel like playing again. Wasn't there that Chinese player, Xiao 8, I think?
Yes,
He's
that's
like
a
retired
very famous
like
example.
3 different times. Yeah. Hey, even in traditional sports, you got NFL fans. I'm sure there's plenty out there. You got the Brett Favre example. He's done it 2 or 3 times.
I mean, if you've committed this much time to the game and you genuinely love the game, it's hard to just turn off and be like, no, I don't need to play at the top level anymore. I don't need to get that competitive high anymore. I'm just okay retiring.
Well, I guess Sing Sing, he's happy right now playing in low priority games and being a
Yeah,
scorer.
exactly. That's how that was. He was hardening his skin because the professional scene, it's soft. It's soft compared to low prio. This is nothing.
Why is this game still happening?
Because they want more kills.
This is the fountain camping at its finest. This is one of those cases. It's like, do we actually stay in this game, or do we maybe try to actually find another game here? But
I don't know. Lion's coming up. He has finger.
Oh god!
Is
That
he gonna
finger
finger
death.
Boogie? Come on!
Finger the cancel! Yes, he gets the kill. Victory in the end. All right, well, good game, well played, guys. That was fun, and we are done for our coverage for today. So hopefully you get just kidding. We are just getting started here, and that's what to expect here, at least in the earlier rounds. Because again, it's really a crapshoot. Who knows what's going to happen when it comes to the quality of these matches here? But valiant effort, at the very least. Well, hey, they got 19 kills. I mean, hey, not too shabby.
No, not too shabby at all.
All right. We need to look for another game here, Tsunami. So if we want to...
I'm sending out the call to Twitch chat. I
All
hope they don't take the spoiled ending to this game too seriously when I say that I'm looking for another game.
I think that's pretty obvious. Yeah, we got our list right here.